channel, that is Smokedalive. Today we're going to be going over the new Limecrime Hot Stuff brushes. The reason I don't have foundation on is because we are going to set everything with these brushes, so we'll get to the rest of my makeup soon. So I purchased these brushes on the Doll Skill website for $38, which is exactly the price that it is sold on the Limecrime website as well. So let's read a little bit of their claims. So what it does is it feels ultra soft on the skin when used to apply makeup. Glitter hearts dance through the handles with every step of makeup application. What it won't do, it will not shed, feel stiff or harsh on the skin. So we will see about that. So let's get into the packaging. Okay, so it comes in the most adorable box in my opinion. It is like so caprice. It's glittery, it's hearts, it's pink, it's girly, but then it has these flames and the red, which makes it very edgy, which is why I'm all about this collection. So it does just slide out of the box, and then you are left with this cute little guy, which I think I'm going to use this for product pictures or something. I am not sure. And then you are left with this. Let's take these brushes out. Okay, so this will be my first time using these, so this is a first impression. So the first thing that I notice from these brushes is that they are fraying on the edges, and there are some extra little bristles that look like they got damaged in the box. That's also happening right here and a little bit on each side of these. So that is the first thing that I do notice about these brushes, which could be the box and the way that it is packaged, that it is getting a little bit damaged, but we will see if that makes a difference with the application. But can we talk about these brushes? They are so cute. I love the detail. The pink to the red. This is actually, it might look silver on camera, but it's actually a very pink chrome. And then it says Limecrime right here. And then on the end of these brushes, it has their logo with the unicorns, which I think is adorable. They paid very good attention. And does this not bring you back to your childhood? Did you guys not have those sticks and you would just sit there and be like, woo? I loved those. I had so many of them. So I think these are a very creative, super cute, fun / edgy take on the kidness, the childlikeness, and I'm very, very excited to use these. So we'll get some close-up shots and we will move on. Or maybe we've already done the close-up shots. Depends on how I choose to edit this. Okay, so like I said, I did not know that this is a pointed blush brush because on the back it just says pointed brush, and I didn't know that it was actually made for blush until I looked at the website. So I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation real quick, and then we're going to set our concealer with this as well, because this is something that I would typically use for a brush like this, and then we will also try it with blush. So I will be right back. Woo. Okay, so I'm just going to use the Kat Von D Lock-It powder. I'm just going to push this in. I do notice that these are very soft, like they said. And I'm just going to go ahead and set my concealer. It is a little bit big to set under the eyes, which is totally okay because it's not necessarily what it was meant for. That's just what I thought it was, so we're just going to roll with it. So I think if I didn't already have like the lower lash line done, I would continue to do that. And I like it for the chin a lot too. So the fact that this isn't made to set concealer, but it's still doing it is really nice, because sometimes you'll get a brush and you go to set your concealer and it'll pick up all the concealer and make everything look really splotchy, but this is not doing it. It actually looks really smooth and nice, and I would definitely use this again for that. This guy right here is the powder brush, and I do notice that this is so much more flimsy than the blush brush. It is so much more flimsy and a lot softer in my opinion too. Well, maybe not softer, let me see. It's a little bit softer actually, yeah, it is softer, and it's not as flimsy, which is going to be really nice for just dusting powder over, but to be honest, I do not set my entire face whatsoever. This is way too big to set concealer, so I'm going to use this as a light bronzer because I really like light, airy, fluffy brushes for my bronzer, and then I go into the more heavy brushes for my contour. So I'm going to be using the Hourglass bronzer. I have recently purchased this, if you have not seen my haul, and I have been loving it. Okay, so there's a lot of excess powder flying around, which it usually doesn't do that with this product, but again, this is a fluffy like powder brush, so it might be just a little bit too flimsy for bronzer, but we are going to see because that is what I like. Very soft, it feels very luxurious, it doesn't feel cheap on my face at all. I think for $38 so far we are doing pretty good, especially just for even just a collectible for your vanity. Okay, so I just went out of my beauty room and looked in natural light, and I actually have plenty of bronzer on and actually did a really beautiful light job. It does just take a little bit longer than a normal bronzer brush, but I actually think it did beautiful. I think I just need the beauty lights are way too bright, so I wanted to go check out there to make sure that that wasn't changing the application that I was seeing. The concealer and all that being set still looks great. My opinion has not changed, but my opinion has changed. I do think this works for bronzer. Okay, so far I know I mentioned that there is some fraying on the brushes. That so far has not affected the application of these brushes whatsoever, and they work just fine. Okay, so now I think it is time for contour. Now this is a way bigger contour brush than I would ever normally do. This like is pretty big on my face, if you guys can see that. This is more of like a bronzer size brush for me, but we're gonna go for it. And we're gonna go in with the Shade and Light palette as usual, and I'm gonna go ahead and take the middle shade, which is Shadow Play. Just gonna pack that on, and we're going to start the contour. What are you doing? Look what just showed up! Jeffree Star Blood Sugar. Stay tuned.
Yeah, don't you be saying what you do when I know you want to see, girl. This is so exciting!
I will be doing a video on this very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for a dope tutorial. Okay, so back to what I was doing. You have no idea how hard it is for me not to open that box right now. We are going to contour. Okay, so right off the bat, I will tell you this is more structured than the blush and the fluffy brush for powder, which it should be. For as big it is, it's actually doing pretty well. I'm gonna go in one more time. It's actually doing like a lot lighter of a contour than I normally do. And it kind of like buffs it all out and blends it out for me. Okay, I'm actually liking this way more than I thought I was going to. Like, that line is pretty straight. And what's nice about it is it kind of like blends everything for me. Like, it's already blended out. I like that. I like this brush. Okay, it is time for blush, and we're going to go in with Makeup Geek First Love, because if a brush can go in with a light blush and still create pigment, then it is a good blush brush. So I did notice, like, packing that in, there's a decent amount of fallout, which not that big of a deal, but this does create some fallout. We're just going to pop that right on the cheeks. So there's a lot of powder flying, which is really weird, because normally that wouldn't happen with a blush brush, but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, that definitely actually is very pigmented. I'm looking at my cheeks and there's kind of like a stark like white, which normally it is not that pigmented. So this is a very, very pigmented blush brush, and you will want to be careful but it works really well, so I can't complain even though there's a lot of like dust flying. This is gonna make blush very quick and easy because it goes on so pigmentedly and so nice. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup and then we will get back to the final look and my final thoughts. Real quick, can we just take a moment for this choker? It is so good. Alright, now that my makeup is complete, I can really tell that I really enjoyed these brushes. I feel like the bronzer went on really beautifully, even though it took a little bit more time. I feel like it's this very nice, light airbrush effect, which I really like, but I can also tell that this is going to work great for powder. The contour brush is so much bigger. The contour brush is so much bigger than I'm used to, but it ended up being really great. I feel like it didn't go like bleed down. I felt like it just blended up and it just worked really nicely and I thought it was great. This works really well at setting concealer, but it also works great as blush. It is very pigmented for a blush brush, which I do not mind. Just keep that in mind when you do your blush so you don't go in with like a really like dark pink shade and you're like, ooh! But I actually think these performed beautifully. They were not harsh. They're both very soft, like they said, and I think these are great brushes, and I think they're so cute. I mean, can we not? Like, I cannot go over how cute these are. So I think these are an A+ in my book, and I think they're absolutely worth $38. And girl, if you don't need them, get them anyway, because I mean, they're adorable. Yeah, like my makeup just looks good, girl. Like my pores aren't emphasized, nothing. Like it just, those brushes worked great. Alright guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if you have these brushes and if you like them, and I will see you guys next week. I did just quickly want to mention that I did just go wash these, just spot clean them anyway, and all the pigment from the makeup is gone. They look brand new and there was zero shedding.